Namaskar everyone. So today again we continue the chart transition series, and in this video we talk about the transition period of Ketu to Venus Mahadasha. In the last video we discussed about the energy of Mercury to Ketu transition. So now in this video we discuss about Ketu to Venus transition period. First, the most important thing is what actually the transition period means. There is not a fixed definition of this Dasha Sandhi period, this Dasha transition period, but as the Ketu Mahadasha is of around 7 years and Venus is a quite long time, just around 3 times than the Ketu period. So the last 6 months of Ketu Mahadasha and the coming 1 year or the starting 1 year of Venus Mahadasha, that is a duration of 1.5 years, we do consider as a transition period, or we say Dasha Sandhi period. So one more important thing is that in this video about the two planets which we are discussing, about which we are talking, is the Ketu and Venus. They are quite different. If you are going through the Ketu Mahadasha, you know very well that the period of Ketu is quite intense. Ketu is the planet of detachment. Ketu is the karka, significator of moksha and liberation. But the path through which acquire that liberation, that moksha, is through suffering. That's not the easy. This is the Ketu method. Ketu period is totally a cleansing period. It's totally a cleansing period where your soul evolve, where your personality is completely shifted. That is the nature of Ketu. Ketu is quite intense. Now, when we talk about the Venus, Venus is a happy planet. Venus is a joyful planet. Venus is the significator of any type of relationship, or we say the harmony and happiness in that relationship, whether it is a married life or whether it is between the parents and children's. So Venus represents luxury, comfort, love, expression, your sexual desire, sexual drive, that all come under the domain of Venus. So Venus is quite different than the Ketu. So this transition period, or we say during this transition period, you face a lot of different psychological trait around you, or we say you feel that in the last 7 years I was a quite different person, and now as we are shifting toward the Venus period, the first year, second year, third year, as you evolve, you found that I am a quite different person. So that's why this video is quite important. So let's start the video. So, so if you ask me personally, based on my experiences over the various chart, that among all the planets, I personally say that the most auspicious one is the Venus. Even would I like to say it is more beneficial than Jupiter in most of the charts. The reason is that Jupiter is bound to give negative results in the certain houses known their Karak Bhavas. And additionally, the probability of Jupiter being retrograde in the chart is very, very high as compared to Venus retrograde in the birth chart. Because as Venus retrograde for a very little time, in a year it is around of 30 to 40 days. I'm not sure, but still it is approximately around 30 to 40 days. Therefore, those heavy karmic debt are not associated with the Venus. And apart from that, Lord Venus also having Mrit Sanjeevani Vidya, that is the knowledge of reviving the dead person, which bring the qualities of re-energizing things and making them joyful again and again. This is the best part of Venus, or which is the blessing of Venus. Yeah, of course, we have to check certain placement in the birth chart, that if Venus is in D1 or D9 chart, if Venus is in 8th house and if Venus is in 6th house, then definitely you could get results in negative direction. And apart from that, if Venus is with the Ketu, then It is closely connected with Ketu, especially in the houses, especially in the seventh house, fourth house, sixth house, or even in the 12th house also. Then during the Mahadasha or during the particular Antardasha, definitely you feel that in relationship you are putting your best efforts, but the thing which you expect from the opposite gender is not up to the mark. And similarly, if Venus is connected with Rahu, then it is good for the artistic field, definitely, if your 10th Lord support. But suppose for an example, if Venus is with Rahu and Mars is sitting in the third house, sitting in the eighth house, and even sitting in the first house or seventh house, then it create a yoga where the cheating possibility of cheating in marriage and relationship would be very higher. And one more thing, if apart from these combination, Venus is behave like an happy planet. One more thing you have to check that. Suppose if apart from D1 and D9 chart, you have to check the placement of Venus with respect to your ascendant Lagna, that is the friend of Lagna or not. So now coming to the conclusion, or we say the more important predictions about this. First of all, as this transition time arrives, your depth begin to decrease slightly. That is, intensity of suffering, intensity of feeling decreases slightly. By depth means that during Ketu Mahadasha, you sense everything very extremely, meaning whether it is happiness or sorrow. If happiness comes for a short period of time, you feel very light, especially when we talk about the Antadasha, that is sub period or the Bhukti period of Jupiter in Ketu, or the Antardasha of Mercury in Ketu, then generally a hopeful time is seen. But when it comes to sorrow, the sorrow feel like it has been with you for a very long time, and you have been carrying it for the ages. That is the intensity of the Ketu. As I said, the depth decreases because during Ketu time you are in deep introspection. You think a lot about of yourself. You want to correct each and everything. By thinking about yourself, I mean that your mind cannot see the outer reality. Instead, it heavily analyzes what is happening to you internally. During Ketu time, there are many hidden losses in your lives. Hidden losses means mentally as well as financially. We don't understand how things are happening. Anxiety increases. Many times it feels like suicidal thoughts are forming. So there is a state where we want to be alone and give time to ourselves. We don't have much involvement with the outside people during Ketu's time. But as soon as you enter the Mahadasha of Venus, you feel a more clear path. By clear path, you can say that mentally as well as financially, things start appearing simpler or easier. In terms of finance, you can also say that whatever the financial condition you have, if it increased slightly in the duration of Venus, you feel that yes, I can manage. That sort of confidence, that sort of internal joy is what going to start during the time of Venus. So this is a very important part, important thing which you feel, which appear when the Mahadasha of Venus evolved in your birth chart, like from first year, second year, third year, and fourth, and so on. So things start being simpler and easier. As time move forward, you are able to feel these things even more. Actually, where previously your focus was limited to just inside a room during Ketu time talking, or you had confined yourself with certain boundaries and limitation. Now, during Sandhi, as we say Mahadasha starting, now you want to go outside and you want to look out. This sudden psychological shift, not as sudden, but yeah, definitely it will take time, but this shifting is there. The many internal struggle you had during Ketu's time, now you understand them. at what actually was happening there. During the starting phase of Venus Mahadasha, you realize why those things were happening to me and what the reason was. The internal fear, the internal struggle, or anxiety now become publicly visible. During Ketu's time, you couldn't express things well. Either you didn't want to, or the situation was such that you couldn't share your emotion. Now is perhaps the time when you find someone to publicly share your thoughts with. It becomes publicly visible that you are sad, etc. That you are, and one more thing, that and you are gradually trying to bring your emotion out. I mean to say that you want to express your emotions now. You want to share your feeling, emotion with your friends or the nearby persons, whether they are a family person or your lover or someone else. The most important thing is that this Dasha Sandhi period is a time of emotional reconstruction. Because during those roughly 7 years of Ketu, you have purified yourself so much internally through struggle that now things appear a bit clearer to you. Your emotional state now resets completely. You can see that you have passed through a kind of cleansing process, but during this Dasa Sandhi, during this transition time, when we say you are switching and coming toward the Venus, at that time you find yourself in a situation where you wonder, was everything I saw in those 6 or 7 years right? Will everything change now? These kind of thoughts are seen coming to your mind. Your self-love become now visible. You pay attention to yourself. You want to dress, you want to party. As I said, you express yourself publicly. Your social relation, societal relation, and finances appear to become a bit stable. See, I'm not saying that your Ketu Mahadasha was completely bad. That is not possible. Many people earn a very good wealth and achieve financial stability during Ketu's time. Ketu's placement in the chart shows these things. But yes, if Ketu was working on negative side, you will now see financial stability during the time of Venus. You will see stability, meaning a clear hope will be visible to you. Yes, the emotional experience I gathered over those 6 years, now I can apply that experiences. This is your thought process. To feel something like that. Whatever your experiences were, they become visible in society with your efforts, with your feel. Now I can do this. This is your thought process. Now another thing is that Venus also represent our relationship. While during Ketu times you came to know clearly who was with you, who was not, who wished well for you, and who did not. This become clearer, quite clear in those 6 to 7 years. During Venus time, your relationship become more practical. It could be practical on your end or on your life partners. And by practical, I mean where earlier you were trying to balance things, saying, okay, whatever is happening, let's manage it. Like this type of scenario was there, and you were putting more efforts in that direction. But now you feel, now I have suffered a lot, now I have to leave. Or a situation where you are over expressive and you feel, no, perhaps I troubled you a lot before. No, now we will stay together. This kind of ups and down in relationship is very clear, or we say very clearly visible during the transition or entry point and sandhi time of Venus Mahadasha. Another very strong possibility is that a new life partner enters your life, or marriage happens, or you are seen entering a relationship. But keep one thing in mind: if you are carrying the heavy experiences of Ketu into that relationship, thinking like that, I become so lonely, I become so isolated, and then you are shifting into a new relationship, even unwillingly, then this is not a very good sign for a long term relationship. This is my practical advice. Keep these points in mind, remember. And apart from this, we must remember some practical things, especially during this transition time, or we say Dasha Sandhi, which is about a year long period as we transition from Ketu to Venus. At that time, the first important thing is that patience is very, very, very important. By patience, I mean emotional patience, patience is relationship, and secondly, if I'm trying to switch job, I should make that decision very carefully during transition period. Remember that thing. Because during transition period, you are not just completely out of the Ketu's energy. You are slowly moving to the Venus side. So there might be a trap. Okay. So you have to take care of that emotional shifting. And there is a very strong possibility that your job profile is seen changing. For example, if you are a fashion designer earlier, you might switch to another field. I'm saying this just an example. If it's not too easy for a fashion designer to go some other field, but I am just making my point, meaning meaning where our career are strictly was a job earlier like this, and now we want to move and toward business, that is switching from office job to business or business to office job. That situation might be possible. And one more thing, we feel like we will be able to do these kind of things, and they seem to happen, but be a little careful there, because this transition time is also alarming time. What did you learn from the cleansing process, and you have passed through that process? Whatever that experiences of your life is, it will remain with you lifelong. That's 7 years lifelong. But I hope, and mostly in my experience with the passage of time, if Ketu Mahadasha was not very good, the Mahadasha of Venus is certainly giving you a sense of joy in your life. So this was a very short analysis regarding this Sandhi from my side. So if you found this video helpful and meaningful, then please do like, share, and subscribe, and definitely share your experiences in the comment box. I try to answer your questions or your queries. Thank you so much. Om Namah Shivaya.